in London town. Turn the universe upside down. Lost Sci-Fi. Oh, Lost Sci-Fi. Lost
Well, good morning or good night or good evening or good afternoon or whatever it is, wherever you are and wherever you happen to be watching this live broadcast, even if you are watching it later, like a week from now, a month from now, whenever it is from now, we're glad you're here, whether it's live or on the recording. So I know we're on Facebook. I don't know that we're live on YouTube. I don't know what that's all about, but maybe we are. I don't know. We have anybody out there live on YouTube? I got to check and see what I can find out. Let's see. LostSci-Fi.com /YouTube, which automatically takes us to our YouTube channel, and it says we're not live, or at least there's no, I don't know, let's see. There's no picture, or there's no picture on YouTube, and I don't understand why that is. It's crazy. That's what I get for scheduling this far in advance. So if you're on, well, no, that's the replay. That is so weird. Is anybody with us on YouTube? I don't know what's going on there. I am using new software, which we used successfully last week, but I don't think I am using it successfully today. Well, it is what it is. We are live, and there are very few of us live today at this moment. For those of you who will join us later and watch this, like I said, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, we're just glad you're here. So there's so much that we want to share with you. We are going to go live twice a month, every month in 2026. And we're excited about that because we kind of missed out on not having that when we quit doing it, when the whole YouTube thing happened last November while we were in Madrid, actually on vacation. So you will not see on our YouTube channel, let me see if there's any way I can get video on YouTube. I don't know what I would do to get that done. So I don't know that there is video on YouTube or not. And if not, that kind of sucks. But I apologize for that, and I will fix that next time because we had video last time we went. But anyway, so when all that happened before, what you will not see, we have this other YouTube channel that we had previously. And so all we're going to use this YouTube channel for are live broadcasts and YouTube shorts. Okay? And our goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers. We have 780 subscribers last time I checked. We need to get 220 more subscribers on our YouTube channel so that we will be able to go live. It's kind of funny. We can go live on YouTube on the desktop computer, but I can't go live with my phone, and the phone is what we need to go live in the booth. So the challenge is that we need to get 1,000 subscribers, 220 more last time I checked, so that we can go live in the booth on YouTube. And what we're not going to do when we go live, we're going to do narration, but we're not going to promote it in advance because let me just explain. This is such a weird thing. So it is 8:07, if I'm correct, in London. Okay, so throughout most of Europe, it's at night. Yeah, I guess it would be night in all of Europe. In the United States, in Costa Rica, where we live, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And for Irma in Australia, it is 6 o'clock in the morning. Am I right about that, Irma? 6 o'clock in the morning? Man, that's early. Anyway, so here's the challenge with going live for a in the booth, which is the blue thing you see behind me, and you can see the door right there with the orange stuff in the door. Yeah, 6 in the morning. Whew, that's early. Anyway, we never know when we are going to be in the booth. So, like, for example, I was in the booth at 2 o'clock this morning, so 12 hours ago, with about 3 or 4 hours of sleep. So I'm tired. And so, just being honest with you, we're going to finish this live and we're going to go to sleep for a few hours. That is why, other than the Thursday night lives that we do, so far our plan is to do 8 p.m. New York time, and then a week or probably 2 weeks later, starting in February, we will go at 8 p.m. London time. That way we can accommodate most, but certainly not all, but most of our listeners around the world, because we have listeners in every time zone in the world, which is really cool. Almost every, I think we are now shy of 2 or 3 countries in the world, of all the countries in the world listening to us. So, which is very flattering and very exciting at the same time. So I said all of that just to say this, that we don't know when we're going to be in the booth. Last night I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, hadn't had a lot of sleep, went in the booth and knocked out a complete story and the start of another story, did more than half of it. So that's why when we go in the booth to narrate, we won't promote it in advance because I don't know when I'm going to be awake. If we were not doing this live today, right now, I would have gone to sleep a couple of hours ago. Anyway, not complaining, just simply trying to let you in on this crazy schedule that I adhere to, which is to say, no schedule at all. So we will go live as soon as we get to 1,000 subscribers. We can take our phone in the booth and we can record, or rather do a live narration. So you get to see the process. Some people like it, some people don't. It's okay either way, however you feel. We will, in the next week or so, be live on Facebook. Who knows what time? Again, we won't promote it. We'll just go live and do a narration, and it's enjoyable for some people, less so for others. But that's our plan, is to go live more often with live narration, so you'll see the process. And then we're going to do this, what we're doing now, twice a month, every month for the entire 2026. So we're going to do that, obviously, health permitting and all of that stuff. So, yeah, there's the official announcement or the official slide or whatever you want to call it. We will do that from now on every month throughout 2026. Sign up for our newsletter if you haven't already, and you can do that very simply by going to lostsci-fi.com and searching for that link. You know, we are so thankful and so amazed, actually, that we are the #1 science fiction podcast in 33 countries. That's just amazing. You know, when we started this, we had no idea that that was going to be the case. We had, and it really didn't happen. Well, it happened because of you. It didn't happen because of anything I did other than just doing one story after another and promoting it to the best of our ability. But what has really made this happen is you telling other people, and then they tell other people, and this thing has just grown and grown and grown. We have almost 30,000 listeners a month around the world, like I said, in almost every country in the world. So we are thankful for you, and we cannot thank you enough, but we're going to do everything we can to thank you as much as humanly possible by doing more stories as often as possible.
Number one in 33 countries. You made it happen, every single fan. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Lost Sci-Fi fans. This one's yours.
We are thankful for you. We are truly thankful for you. So thank you for everything you do for us. We just appreciate you, and we want you to know how much we appreciate you. We recently went over 2 million listens on Apple Podcasts alone. Just on Apple Podcasts. Now, that is a worldwide number, but we are at 3.2 or 3.3 million total listens. And it's just, here's the bottom line. I never knew this was going to happen. Didn't know. So I'm very thankful for you. And one of the things we want to do when we go live this year is we want to make this more interactive. Now, you can type something in the comments, and we appreciate that. You can tell us who you are and where you're from and all that good stuff. But and we appreciate that. But we want to take it a step further in 2026. And so what we really want is we want you to interact with us on the live streams that we do twice a month. And so let me give you an example of what we mean by that.
Hello, Scott. I just wanted to say I have been a huge fan of the Lost Sci-Fi Podcast for over 3 years now. I look forward to every single episode that comes out, and it's a pure delight to get to sit there and listen to you read stories. So keep on trucking, man. I hope you put out another 10,000 stories. So I'll look forward to them.
I'm not sure we're ever going to get to 10,000 more stories, but that would take a long time. Let's see, how many years would that be if we did one a day? I don't even want to know. It's too many. Anyway, we would love it if you would record your video, preferably horizontal, like you just saw Josh do. And it can be anything. It can be a question that you have for us. A story, perhaps, about your favorite story that we have narrated. It could be you showing off your merchandise, your merch, whether that's a shirt or a hoodie or a pint glass or whatever it is. Literally, it can be just about anything that relates to our podcast. We think that it would be really awesome if we had several of those to share with everybody when we go live for every episode. Now, whether that ever happens or not, I don't know. But I want to encourage you to do that if you would be so kind, and then just send your video to Scott at lostscifi.com. We'll clean it up if we need to chop off a little at the beginning or chop off a little at the end. We'll be happy to do that. And we would love to include your video when we go live twice a month. We think that'd be a pretty fun thing to do. So now, what we would also like to know is, what do you want more of in 2026? What do you want? More apocalyptic sci-fi, more aliens, more stories about Mars, more stories from certain authors. It could be anything. We would like to know. So you can type in the comments right now if you'd like to do so, or you could send us an email, scott@lostscifi.com. Our email address has not changed, will not change. We're going to keep that email address. And so we'd love to know what you want more of, because that way, and here's the other thing, with amazingly almost 30,000 listeners around the world, it is impossible to give everybody everything they want when they want it. And we realize that. But we do want to do everything we can to give our listeners, you and the people that you have told about this podcast, we want to do everything we can to make you as happy as we can. So that's our plan. I have no idea why that is looking that way. I have no idea what just happened there. The most recent story that we did was The Wounded by Philip Jose Farmer, a short story, a very short story. That was the most recent story that we did, and we will do more Philip Jose Farmer. There aren't a ton. I think there's around 10 or 12 Philip Jose Farmer stories in the public domain. So we will do what we can to get other stories by him on the podcast as soon as possible. Now, coming soon, I finished recording this one earlier today, An Eye for the Ladies by Stephen Marlowe, which I absolutely love this story. I think you're going to love it too. A private eye, a private detective, and well, I don't want to give it all away, but anyway, I'm glad that Irma, that you loved The Wounded. What a great story that was. An Eye for the Ladies. I'm telling you, this is a great story. That's coming up. I also finished recording this today. Death Walks on Mars. Alan J. Ram has been on my list for some reason for years to do a story. He did not have a lot of stories, but this is a great story, obviously, about Mars. And I think you're going to love that one. And then this one, I'm on kind of a Mars kick, as you can see. This one, we started recording today. I think I've recorded about half of this one. And by Joe Gibson, who, if I remember correctly, was an illustrator as well as an author. He didn't have a lot of stories, but this is a very, very interesting story. And you may have gotten the idea that I want to pick up the pace. We kind of, over the last few months, there's a lot of things that have gone on in my life that have slowed us down. But we're going to pick the pace back up considerably. We are somewhere around 471 episodes, and our 4-year anniversary is 1 month and 8 days from now, if memory serves me correctly. And so if there's any way, I would need to do another 29 or 30 stories in the next 35, 38 days, whatever that is. And so that's what we're going to try and do. I would like to get to episode 500 for our 4th anniversary, and that is what we are going to attempt to do. All right, I wanted to share with you, we've done some new merchandise. We don't do a lot of merchandise. We don't talk about it a lot. We don't do a lot of creation, but I've got some new stuff that people asked me about. And so there you see a couple of the new designs. And then we feature the baby lately, and we're going to do the cat, the Lost Sci-Fi cat and the Lost Sci-Fi baby. And so there's a couple of one design on 2 different articles of clothing, and then there's the close-up of the design so you can see a little bit better what that looks like. And then a new alien shirt design. And there you go, so you can see that one. I don't know why the alien smoking the cigar cracks me up, but it does. And then we have had people say, what about the baby? So, Lost Sci-Fi Baby is going to have his own, eventually, number of designs. We start with this one, and you can see cutest visitor in the galaxy, sucking blinkies and zapping baddies. One small step for baby kind. And so there will be more of those. And, you know, the truth of it is, this whole thing for me, this entire thing, is about having fun, man. It's just about having fun. And so the merchandise, whether anybody else buys it or not, it's okay. It's no big deal to me. You can go to the store, lostsci-fi.com/merch, and that will redirect you to the crazy web URL. And I do it because I like doing it, because I like having fun. So whether anybody ever buys any of it or not is okay. It really, truly is. It's totally okay with me. Whatever happens with the merchandise happens with the merchandise. And it is now trivia time. We're going fast. We're going fast because there's not as many of us on today, right now. And I kind of anticipated that. Look, it took us last time about 6 months to kind of get people used to what we were doing going live. So it'll take a while. Irma says, the brilliance of listening to Lost Sci-Fi is the variety of the stories. Well, thank you, Irma. I appreciate that. And that's what we always attempt to do that to, even though from time to time we'll do 2 stories back to back by the same author, we always attempt to do a variety of stories for specifically that reason. So, because you never know. You never know what somebody's going to like. Okay, round 1. And our trivia is just for fun. You score yourself 10 questions, no prizes. In Forbidden Planet, what ultimately destroyed the Krell civilization? And this is kind of cool because people could watch the trivia, you know, a year from now and still enjoy it. We do give the answers after a few seconds. And the answer in this case was hidden instincts. Hidden instincts. Welcome to those of you that just joined us. In The Outer Limits, what's the name of the unseen narrator often called? The observer, the controller, the voice, or the architect? And we will always have trivia, and we will always have new trivia every time we go live with this format. The answer is the voice. And question number 3. In the day the Earth stood, and by the way, obviously we're doing movies and TV shows, vintage science fiction. Some of these are they're all 60 to 70 years ago. In the day the Earth stood still, who enforces interplanetary law among advanced civilizations? And the answer is the robot police. So you can score yourself if you want to. Round 2. So we're moving on to our next set of questions. Question number 4. I think this is a really hard one. If you get this one, give yourself credit, man, because this is, I would think, tough. Which Star Trek episode first introduces the concept of the Prime Directive? Arena, which, of course, is a story we've done. And the answer is Return of the Archons. Return of the Archons. I did not know that one. Question number 5. In War of the Worlds, what weapon do the Martians primarily use? A heat ray, atomic missiles, disintegration field, or gravity beams? And if you want to type in your answer, if you want to, you could certainly do that. The thing we've learned is there's quite a bit of a delay for the actual live broadcast. The answer in this case was heat ray. So there's a bit of a delay. So if you don't have time to type it in, I understand that. In the TV show The Prisoner, what number is the main character assigned? I think The Prisoner was a British or a UK TV show. I think. I could be wrong about that. The answer is number 6. And round 3, our final questions. And I think I may have made these too hard today. I'm not sure about that, but I may have. In The Incredible Shrinking Man, what causes Scott Carey's condition? Alien spores, nuclear fallout and insecticide, genetic mutation, or time dilation? And the answer is nuclear fallout and insecticide. So we've got 3 questions left to go on today's trivia. In early Doctor Who, what power source allows the TARDIS to travel? I'm so thankful for every one of you that joins us live, that watches the replay, that listens to the podcast. We're just so thankful. The Eye of Harmony. I think this is tougher than a lot of the trivia that we do from time to time. In The Thing from Another World, what is the alien's original form? A reptilian creature, an energy being, a plant-based organism, or a mechanical life form? And the answer to number 9 is a plant-based organism. We are doing trivia. This is the Lost Sci-Fi Podcast live. And our final question, in the Twilight Zone, what species appears in the episode The Invaders? Maybe I made this one too tough today. Martians, giant humanoids, tiny astronauts, or robotic scouts? And the answer is tiny astronauts. There you go. And that is our trivia for today. So there you go. You know, let me just say this again. Since we just started doing this, going live for the first time last Thursday, but I realize that this is going to take a while, and it's not everybody's cup of tea, and I get that too. But what we really want to do, and I want to go back and just do this one more time. What I would really love, if I can find it, is we want you. What we really would love with this live is if you would participate and shoot a video and send it to us, email it to us. And I'm not going to, I will play the whole thing. It can be about anything. It can be your comments. It could be a question. It could be you. This is a cool one, and I don't remember where they were from, but there was somebody that sent us a picture of their tent and their camping gear, and they were traveling in a country. I can't remember who this was or where they were from, but it would have been really cool. I appreciated the picture they sent, but it would have been really cool if they showed me where they were, or they showed all of us where they were, and any question or comment. But they said in a very nice email that they were passing the time as they were traveling. I think it was in Europe, but I could be wrong about that. But they were passing the time listening to our podcast. So instead of just sending a picture, which we appreciated, it'd be really cool to see them in, more than one of the cool places that they traveled. So let me show you what we mean by this again. I'm going to show you the video we got from Josh, and we would love it when we go live again, which, by the way, will not be now until the first Thursday in February. But I would love it, and I would encourage you, all of you, to shoot a video and just have fun with it. And I just think this would add so much to our live broadcasts.
Hello, Scott. I just wanted to say I have been a huge fan of the Lost Sci-Fi Podcast for over 3 years now. I look forward to every single episode that comes out, and it's a pure delight to get to sit there and listen to you read stories. So keep on trucking, man. I hope you put out another 10,000 stories. So I'll look forward to them.
So record your video, preferably horizontal. If you send us a video and it's vertical, we don't care. We'll do it. We'll do it. But it would probably look better if it was horizontal. David is from, I don't know that I'm saying this right, David, so please correct me if I'm wrong, from Macclesfield in the UK. Loving the stories, keeps me going at work. Thank you, David. Thank you very much. Did I say, is it Macclesfield? I've not heard of that before. So I would love to know if I said it right. If I did, great. If I didn't, I apologize in advance. But David, I appreciate your comments on Facebook and everything you do. And if you haven't already left us, if you want to, I said it right. All right. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. If you haven't already left us a review on Apple Podcasts, even if you don't normally listen on Apple Podcasts, you can, and we would appreciate that. And you can also leave us a 5-star review, again, only if you think we deserve it, on Spotify, because those well, actually, you can only do a rating on Spotify. Those ratings and reviews make a difference. But I hear that a lot from people. So, would love it if you would shoot a video. David, Irma, I would love it if both of you would shoot a video. It can be about anything. A question you have, just a compliment or a comment, a story you want to hear, whatever it is. I think it would be cool to share these videos of our listeners around the world. I just think that would be a fun thing to do. And so I really want to encourage you to do that. Scott at lostsci-fi.com. Send it to us. And I think that'd be pretty awesome. Anybody have any questions for us or comments? I know that, again, there's a delay. We recognize that. And sometimes the delay can be 20 or 30 seconds. But if you have a comment or a question right now, just put it in. And I don't know that we ever got video going on YouTube. That's so strange. You have, David, left reviews. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you'd shoot a video, that'd be cool. And I don't care if it's inside or outside, wearing a T-shirt, wearing some of our merchandise. I don't care. It makes no difference to us. I just think it would be fascinating to hear from our listeners, and this is me. I would love to hear different accents from around the world when we air these videos. So if you think, oh, my accent is this or that, I think it's cool. One of the things that I love most about what we're doing is the ability to interact with people all over the world. It's something I did not anticipate would ever happen when we started the podcast. It's, again, and I've said this many times, but I'll never be able to say it enough because I want people to really, truly understand how much I appreciate them. We never knew this was going to grow to the point that it has. and we get these amazing 5-star reviews from people all over the world, and it's just it's very humbling. It's a very humbling experience. So yeah, I would love it, David and Irma, if you both would shoot a video and include it. Send it to scott@lostsci-fi.com. And if you need, I could give you my WhatsApp, although that's like, I'm not a big WhatsApp guy just because I don't really do much with it. But I could give you my WhatsApp and you could send it via WhatsApp if that's something you use. I'm just, this community is awesome. We have an awesome number of people that listen to this all over the world. It's just really cool. I agree with you, Irma. It is a pretty awesome thing. And so we're going to do everything we can to continue to build this community. And that's why we made the commitment twice a month, every month in 2026. And probably for as long as we're doing the podcast. And of course, we're doing the podcast as long as I'm alive or healthy enough to do the podcast. So, my plan was to start and never stop. And I would love to get to 2,000 episodes, 3,000 episodes. I think that would be phenomenal. It'd be a ton of fun. And, what's amazing to me, I don't know, David and Irma, if you both do this, but I get people that tell me all the time, Scott, when there isn't a new episode for a couple of days, I'll go back and listen to one of the older episodes. And I think that's cool. And, and I'll tell you, this may only be funny to me, but it is funny to me. I narrated all these stories, and then in 99% of them so far, and this hopefully will change soon, but 99% of them I've edited all of the story too. So I listen to it when I'm doing it. Well, I read it first, then I do it in the booth, then I edit it and listen to it again, and I listen to the entire story after it's edited to make sure that it's as good as it can possibly be, and that there aren't any obvious mistakes in it, or any mistakes, preferably. And so anyway, I have listened to every one of these stories so many times, but I forget, since there's, we're coming up on 500 episodes. That's a lot of different stories. Anyway, Irma says she often goes back to listen to some of the other stories. David says, I do use WhatsApp a fair bit for various groups. Yeah, do listen to the episodes at random. So we get so many cool responses that we are so thankful for. So thank you for joining us today. And because it's a smaller group right now, we're going to end a little earlier than we may have ended otherwise. But Irma, David, you guys have any other questions or comments? I would certainly love to entertain those questions or comments before we call it a day. And anybody else that's just joined us, I see some new people have just joined us. If you want to tell us who you are, where you're from, that's cool. If you want to comment, you have a question, we'll take the thumbs up. Thank you very much for that. One of the other things I want to say while we give people an opportunity to comment, if indeed they want to do so. Every time you like one of our videos on social media, that helps the algorithm. Everything you do, you like the video, you comment, whatever, share the videos, those are beneficial. Hey, Kimberly, it is good to see you. I was wondering if we were going to hear from you. I was thinking about you. Just found me again. Well, good. I am, once I was lost, but now I am found. I'm glad that we have been found. Yeah, and we mentioned this earlier, but for those of you who can, and we would really appreciate it, we want to go live in the booth, and we want to go live in the booth, but we can only do that on our phone And YouTube does not allow you to use your phone to go live unless you have 1,000 subscribers. So we want to encourage everybody to subscribe on YouTube. Even if you're watching on Facebook now, if you could subscribe on YouTube, that will help us get to 1,000 faster. So last time I was on live with you was a while. Yes, it was. We got kind of frustrated and discouraged a little over that whole fiasco, but we're back, and we will not include on the YouTube channel full stories, just YouTube shorts, and we will just use it to go live. So there you go. Love recurring characters. Irma, I do too. And we did the Gregory Circle. What's his name? What was his first name? Bud Gregory. We loved the Bud Gregory character. But now, of course, the character that we're doing is Lancelot Biggs. And we're going to do another Lancelot Biggs story. There's like 14 or 15 of those. I think we've done 5. So, yeah. We love the recurring characters too. And part of the reason why we love them so much, it's easier to do those stories because I already know in my head who the character is, the voice the character has, and all of that. So, let's see. I have been sailing. Now, Voyager equals, I don't understand that. I understand sailing is like being in space. Okay. So glad to have you back. Thank you. It's good to be back. It is really good to be back. Yes, I love Lancelot Biggs. Well, Mr. Johnson, I got, I got him in my head. And I don't know why when I created the character, like most of you will notice that when we edit the stories, most of the pauses are taken out. But I just felt like for Lancelot Biggs, we needed to keep the breaths and the pauses in there. I don't know why I went into that character all of a sudden, but anyway. Look a bit of Bud. Now, Voyager is a U.S. movie. Okay. Is it a new movie or an old movie? I haven't been to the theater. I've probably been twice in the last 5 years because, they had the COVID thing and they shut down all the theaters all over the world, also in Costa Rica. But anyway, I just haven't been into movies for a long time. It's kind of sad, actually. Anyway, well, anybody else have any final comments or anything else you want to talk about? Any questions you have? Kimberly, you missed the video. I'm not going to play the well, I will. I'll just play the video again. We would love it, Kimberly. We've said this, and we're going to say it a third time on this live. We want you to help us. That didn't come out right. We want you to ask your questions, make your comments, whatever. Well, let me just show you the video again. Okay. Oh, no, that wasn't it. Here we go. We want you, would love for you to do this.
Hello, Scott. I just wanted to say I have been a huge fan of the Lost Sci-Fi Podcast for over 3 years now. I look forward to every single episode that comes out, and it's a pure delight to get to sit there and listen to you read stories. So keep on trucking, man. I hope you put out another 10,000 stories. So I'll look forward to them.
So you see, there's the video. And if you would send us your video, preferably horizontal like that one, scott@lostscifi.com, that would be a very cool thing. We would love it. I'm just going to be really honest with you. I would love if every time we went live, and we'll go live twice a month, every month for 2026, we would love it if we had 5 or 6 videos to share with you in every live. Wouldn't that be fun to see and hear from these listeners that we have all over the world in 190 some countries? That would just be cool. Yeah, send a vid to us. Okay, Kimberly, thanks for joining us. So what got you to live in Costa Rica, David asks. Great question, David. I married a gorgeous woman from Costa Rica. There she is, my beautiful wife. I don't know if my beautiful wife is going to be happy with me sharing this picture of us, but it's been on the wall, so it's there. Anyway, that's my wife. We were going to live in Dallas, and then I came to Costa Rica for a second time, and I just fell in love with Costa Rica and the people and the beaches and the weather and all of that stuff. Long story short, I literally decided like that. I went back to Dallas, and my wife stayed here to spend time with her mother and her daughters, who obviously live in Costa Rica since they are all from Costa Rica. And so I go back to Dallas, and David, I am dreaming every night about Costa Rica. I am daydreaming about Costa Rica. I am looking at the videos of the beach and the pictures of Flory and I on the beach and all of that stuff. And I just can't stop thinking about it. And so Southwest Airlines had just then started flying to Costa Rica a few months earlier. Long story short, I said, holy smokes, why am I living in Dallas when I could live in Costa Rica? And at the time, I was narrating audiobooks, but this hadn't started yet. And so you can edit audiobooks. This big blue behemoth is my booth. And it's very tiny. It's 3.5 feet by 3.5 feet by 3.5 feet by 3.5 feet. It's 7 feet tall and weighs almost 1,000 pounds. And I thought I could, do that anywhere in the world. I don't have to live in Dallas. So anyway, yes, he batted above his average when he found his lovely wife. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. She's gorgeous and she's awesome. And I am so thankful for my amazing wife. So there you go, David. Maybe that's too long of an answer for you. But so literally, I called her on WhatsApp. They use WhatsApp in Costa Rica a lot. So I called her on WhatsApp. I had 2 tickets ready to purchase. I had the browser open, ready to purchase the tickets. I'd already gone to the office of the leasing company. I said, I don't care what it costs. Just tell me what it costs for me to break my lease. And I called her up, and I said, baby, would it be okay if we lived in Costa Rica instead of living in Dallas? And she said, yeah. I said, all right, we're moving in 45 days. True story. Had no idea how to do it. Sold or gave away almost everything I own. Very few things I brought here. Thankfully, I brought the booth. I wasn't going to bring the booth. Couldn't sell it. Nobody would pay me. I didn't get any interest in the booth, so I brought it. Thank God I did. Anyway, it's on my bucket list to visit there now. I want to eat at the restaurant with a sloth in the trees. All right, Irma. Yeah, that's so cool. There's a restaurant here in Costa Rica. There was a sloth in the trees. They have the trees that go through the ceiling. They have cutouts there. It's just Costa Rica is a beautiful country. The Costa Rican people are beautiful physically as well as in every way. I'm just very thankful to be living here. So thank you for asking the question, David. That's a great question, and I am happy to have answered it. Anybody else have any other questions or comments? I would love it if all of you would shoot videos and email them to me so that I can use them when we go live again. What is it going to be? 3 weeks? The 22nd, the 20th? Yeah, it's going to be 3 weeks. We'll go. So we got 3 weeks before we go live again at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, New York time. And then 2 weeks after that, we will go, at least this is our plan at the moment, and probably will be. We will go live again. We have just a huge number of new listeners in Europe. And I've got to do a better job of letting them all know what we're doing when we go live. But we have a ton of listeners in the UK. I mean, it's amazing. The UK audience has really grown and grown and grown, and we are thankful for that. And but there's a lot of listeners in Spain and Finland and Ireland, and I'm going to miss some of the other countries where we've been number one. Been number one in Finland, the UK, Denmark. I can't remember the other countries, but we have a ton of listeners in Europe. So that's why we're doing this 8 p.m. London time live. And, it's going to take some time to grow this to where people get used to it, want to participate, all that stuff. But I'm patient. We're going to do this. We're going to go live twice a month, every month for all of 2026. So we'll see what happens. Final comments or questions from anybody? And can I get you to do, Kimberly and David and Irma, can I get you to do a video? I think that would be cool. And if you know other listeners, it would be really cool if you would encourage them to shoot a video. Again, questions, comments, showing off the merchandise that the Lost Sci-Fi merch that they have purchased. Anything. Just anything related to sci-fi. Any of that stuff. So that'd be fun. So just a few more seconds, because again, that whole delay thing, you type it right now and I don't see it for 20 or 30 seconds. Well, no, maybe. Well, you're not hearing me asking for comments for 20 or 30 seconds. If you type it in, I think I see it right away. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I think so. And, we'll grow this thing as time goes on, and it'll be fun. Yeah, we'll build it up again. We did it last time, and we'll do it again. And our audience is not quite double, but close to double what it was a year ago. It's amazing. We are so thankful. Thank you to each and every one of you who are with us today live. Thank you to each and every one of you who will join us later and watch the replay. Thank you, Kimberly. Yeah, we'll see you soon. I can't wait to show your video. It's going to be fun. I'm really excited how this is all working. It'll be fun meeting everyone. Yes, Irma, thank you. And David, you're right. It's amazing how small the world has become. And one of the things I just want to say this, no matter what's going on in the world, we're going to continue to stick to sci-fi. We're not ever going to get political. We're not ever going to venture off into other stuff. It's always going to be sci-fi. It will always be sci-fi. It will always be vintage sci-fi. We're not going to get caught up in all the other stuff. There's plenty of other podcasts if you want to do all the other stuff, but that's not us. And, one of the things I love about science fiction is it is amazing, David, how small the world has become. This whole podcasting thing, I just never anticipated that we would have these listeners, tens of thousands of listeners every single month all over the world. I am floored by that, to be really honest with you. Oh, yes, please. Yeah, I promise you. We're not going to get into that other stuff. One of the other things that I love, and we've got listeners. Well, I won't get into all the countries, but I couldn't do that if I wanted to, because I can't remember 192 or 3 countries or whatever. But it doesn't matter to us where you're from, what you look like. None of that matters. What we all have in common is this love. And let me just say this one more thing. One of the things I think that makes this science fiction this vintage science fiction so fascinating. We know stuff. General human knowledge today is different than it was when these stories were written. You know, the stories that were written in the 1800s and the early 1900s, there was no space exploration. There were no astronauts visiting other planets that could tell us what was out there. So that's why I'm so passionate about this, is because these people were truly pioneers. They wrote about things without any knowledge that we have today of what the solar system was like and all of that. And so I love the stories about Mars and all the different, the different creatures that they created in their minds and the environment and all of that stuff. Anyway, is one of the reasons why this lights my fire. And I've shared this, I think, before, but maybe not. I started this podcast almost 4 years ago, and I was 62. Okay, almost 63. I will celebrate our 4-year anniversary in just a little over a month. Hopefully, have 500 episodes by that time. And then, so I'm 66 now. We'll be 67 in May. And I would love it if I'm still doing this when I'm 80. And trust me, if I am healthy enough, and if I'm alive, I'm going to be doing this when I'm 80. And it's because there's a lot of reasons. One of them, as many of you know already, is because of my wife, Flory, to provide for her when I am gone, whenever that may be. But one of the other reasons is I get in that booth every single day. Okay, I am unless I'm not feeling well or whatever, I'm in the booth every single day. And sometimes I'm just not feeling it. I may not record for very long, and it's just not really, it's not working sometimes. Anyway, to my satisfaction, I could probably release some stories, but I unless I feel like I'm giving you everything I got, I don't do it. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is I love doing this. And I really appreciate it when people tell me that they can tell that I love doing this. But not only, the word retirement doesn't work for me. And I never knew that until I started doing this. And the reason it doesn't work for me is I love doing this. And I love making other people happy with what we're doing. Some of the emails we get are really phenomenal and all of that. And so I feel like I am more alive than I would be if I wasn't doing this. And so that's why I'm going to keep doing it. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but the passion you give to the stories, David says, keeps me going, young, and yet you don't send out trash. No, I don't. I'm going to, and it's funny, David, I don't mention this very often because it's kind of weird, but there's been a few stories that I've started to narrate and it just wasn't good to me, to my standard. And so I literally sometimes have spent an hour in the booth and just erase it and it doesn't happen that often. I don't want to mislead you, but a few times I'm just like, this is not good. I don't like it. I'm not feeling it. And so I just delete it. So I thank you. I thank you because when you leave us, especially the 5-star reviews, and when you join us when we go live, and when you send us an email, when you communicate with us, it fires me up. It causes me I'll be, somebody upstairs. I don't know if you're hearing any of that, but it's a lot of noise. Oh, somebody's drilling into the wall. The passion keeps you young. Yes, I get that. It keeps me young. Oh, wow. Okay, I don't know. Can you hear that? So this booth, I won't get into all the details, but it was a lot of money. And it's a very good booth. But we live in an 8-story condo. It's made out of concrete. And so you can hear those sounds. So there's some days I'm in the booth and somebody's doing that. And I just have to stop. And some days I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to record for a while. That's just the way it is. Anyway, yes, this, big mice. I just love doing this. So I thank you for joining us live today. I thank you for your reviews. And there are some days when I'm like, oh, I'm kind of tired. And I don't know. And then I'll read a review. And there'll be a 5-star review. And it's just like, wow, that is so nice of somebody to take the time out of their day to write this nice comment, give us 5 stars. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I sometimes get in the booth after that when I wasn't going to, because it just fires me up. So yeah, I'm going to stay young. I don't feel 66, soon to be 67. I'm not going to stop. Health. If the health is good, I want to be in that booth at 80 years old, knocking out one story after another, sharing it with you. I just think it's fun. So Irma says, I giggle to myself when there's a female character because you're flawless in your delivery, but I know what you look like. That's funny. That is funny. Oh, by the way, I got somebody that just verbally abused me on a review about my female characters. And I'm like, look, dude, I got a deep voice. I'm doing the best. I mean, I didn't say this, but I wanted to say to them, look, dude, I got a deep voice, or fairly deep, and I'm doing the best I can. So, but thank you. Yeah. Oh, and the female character, Irma, let me see if I can find that again. It's actually not just the female character, but this story, which I'm going to go to sleep. I need to finish editing it. I'm going to go to sleep when we finish this, and who knows if I'll sleep 2 hours or 5 hours. I don't know. I never know. And then I'm going to finish editing this story. I love this story. So, depending on what part of the world you are in, later today or the next day, obviously for you, David, in the UK, it's going to be Friday for you, and it'll be later Friday or maybe Saturday for you, Irma, in Australia. But this is a good story. It's just, what's so cool about this is I get exposed to stories that I would never in a million years have listened to or watched or read. I get exposed to so much good stuff, and there are thousands of stories. Somebody asked me the other day, are you going to run out of stories in the public domain? The answer is no. I think last time I checked, there are somewhere around 10,000. Could be more, could be a little less, but somewhere around 10,000 vintage sci-fi stories in the public domain. And don't quote me on this, but I believe 2026 now. I believe 6 to 8 years from now, more stories will be in the public domain that are not currently in the public domain. So, yeah. David's going to keep an eye out for it. That story, David, you're going to like it. It's just a great story. And that's the key to the success of your podcast. Now, Irma, I don't know what you mean. Which is the key? I don't know. Because that's the other thing with the delay. I'm sorry about that. There's nothing we can do about that. I don't know what you're referring to specifically. But, discovering new loves every time. Yeah, I do. I mean, these stories like this, this one, Alan J. Ram. Never heard of Alan J. Well, I'd heard of him, have never narrated one of his stories. Was gonna long time ago, just didn't for whatever reason. There's so many stories out there. So I love that story. Again, it's already narrated, just needs to be edited. And then this one, We're Off to Mars. I haven't finished narrating that entire story, but that's another one. And there's always, I don't know if you can tell this, but there are some lines in stories that I just love. I don't know that it comes across that line is the one I love so much, but there's just so many reasons to love doing what I'm doing. And you, all of you, collectively all over the world, yeah. Irma says, ooh, 6 arms. It's only supposed to be 4, Irma, but the image has 6. So there's only supposed to be 4 arms, but my image has 6 and I'm not changing it because I like the image the way it is. So it's a little misleading, so forgive me for that. But you, all of you, watching now, watching the replay, all of you make this such an enjoyable chapter in my life. To be the last chapter, excuse me, to be the last chapter of my life and to be having more fun than I have ever had in my life. To be more, and I'm a passionate guy. When I was on television, I was passionate. When I was on the radio, I was passionate. But I've never been more passionate about anything I've ever done than this. And I've never enjoyed it more than doing this. Never. So thank you for that. I thank you, and I thank the Ray Bradburys and Philip K. Dicks and Alan J. Rams and Stephen Marlowe's and all of these amazing authors. And it's the other reason that I spend so much time on these stories, probably more than I should, but I spend so much time because I want to honor these authors with their work in this audio format. That's important to me. So for what that's worth. Well, goodness, I was thinking we were going to end a little shorter, and now we've gone a little longer. But I appreciate all of you. And again, whether you watch this live, you watch this, a month from now or a year from now, makes no difference to us. We are thankful for you for listening to the Lost Sci-Fi Podcast. If you could, please go to our YouTube channel, lostscifi.com/YouTube. Links are in the descriptions. Subscribe to the channel so that we can go live in the booth, because we can go live on the software, on the computer, the desktop, but we cannot go live on the phone in the booth, and I can't take the desktop computer in the booth because it's too small. So thanks, everybody. I appreciate you so very much. I am thankful for you, and I hope you'll tell your friends about us and what we're doing. And, we'll do this again live 3 weeks from now, the first Thursday in February. But be looking for us on Facebook and YouTube as soon as we get to our 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And we'll be live in the booth in the meantime. Thanks. Have an awesome day. We appreciate you very, very much.